Hello, hi everybody. Hope you had a great long weekend. Even though the stock market was open, so we kind of everybody took yesterday's off. So hope you had a great long weekend. So I was looking into some of the opportunities today. I mean, I do see a couple of sectors, especially financial and technology sector kind of in this little uptrend right now, which I'll show you in a second. And today what we will do is quickly look at these two sectors, some of the opportunities in these two sectors, look at some of the news, what's going on in the market, are there any red flags or some nice things happening in the market. So we'll just look at the overall market today. So before that, just to give you a quick update, we have a major update coming soon for our platform. Right now, what you see, the UI, the look and feel of the platform is going to change. And in fact, we are adding bunch of other things which will really help. Like for example, breaking news, any news related to stocks, news which are trending, analyst rating, whenever they make some changes to their ratings, etc., etc. So along with some of the other things we are adding, so you'll probably see in next 2 to 3 weeks a major update coming to our platform, which will really help you how you look at the stocks. Now you don't have to jump around and look at some of the other things that are in other platforms. So you'll probably be able to majority of the due diligence you'll be able to perform from our platform. So that's kind of something I'm working very closely with our development team, and I'm very excited about it. So can't wait to share more details once it's available. Those who don't know about the platform, OVTLYR platform, so we build the data around how investors react to changing market conditions, like whether it's news, price movement, economy, etc. And then we showcase whether they are irrationally fearful or greedy, and by how much. So we have these data points which are not available anywhere else. So you can only get access to those data points on our platform, and they are really powerful. And I usually show some of these things, and in fact, I'll show you some examples how powerful they can be in a second. So just let's get started. Let's start looking at our market sector analysis, look at the market, broader market, and see if there are any opportunities that I see right now. Again, this is the exercise that I do mostly pre-market. I run this show at this time just because of, in the mornings I have like my team meetings with my development team, so I can't just get to this call at the time. So that's why I run these daily calls a little bit later. But this is the exercise that I do like pre-market. Okay, let's get started. So what I'm seeing right now, it's earning season. You'll see a lot of earnings coming out. Financial sector, we had very good earnings for JP Morgan Chase last week. In fact, I was talking about it in one of these calls. We had Bank of America earnings came out today. One thing I noticed that oil fell by 5% today. Okay, so which is huge actually. Let's talk about. So okay, it's like, all right. So oil fell by 5%. So which is good news for, last month I was talking about with this war going on, I was talking about how rising oil prices were a bit of a concern for me. And in fact, those concerns were reflected in the CPI numbers that came out last week, right? The CPI was a bit hotter than expected. And oil kind of, along with other things, oil also play a major role because it adds to the inflation. I mean, the fight against inflation, whatever. So oil fell today, so it may give some relief, overall relief. So which is a good thing in my opinion. Let's look at if there are any concerns that I'm seeing right now, apart from Nvidia stock is falling and bunch of other stocks are falling. I think it's because of the earnings, ASML earnings, which came like very, very low. Let me see. So overall, financial sector is looking good. And let's look into what I'm seeing in our market breadth. Market breadth is something which gives you an idea about where that sector, where that sector or overall market is headed in near future, which direction, whether it's going up, it's going down. It really helps when you are looking at individual stocks within that sector. It's not like 100% correlation, but there is a very high correlation. When a sector moves in certain direction, there's very high probability that stock also kind of behaves that way. So when I look into our data, so what I do is I look at overall where the overall market is headed by selecting full stocks here, or I can select one of the sectors. So two sectors caught my attention: financials and technology. From last few days, for example, financial sector, and I was talking about it last week as well, is kind of in this mini uptrend. When it started going down somewhere here, like around um, September and like end of September ish. So it started going down, but around 9th, 10th October, right? So around 9th, 10th October, it started reversing its course, right? and and I was talking about that. You know, I see in shorter term some good setups for the stocks which are in financial sector, and same thing I am looking into tech sector as well. From last few days, and in fact it's kind of going up, just started going up. And there are like so today what we will do is look at our watch list, pull out all the opportunities, or at least majority of them, and see if we see any good opportunities in tech sector. We'll just let's go ahead and pull the watch list. The watch list is our daily bull and bear list, essentially a buy and sell list. But usually I look at the other data as well. Like for example, I look where the sector is headed every day, right? And I look into individual heat map. I look into price trajectory oscillator, and I'll give you an example. So let's start with, so Bank of America. In fact, this was a buy signal that came before market open today. Let me pull here 1 second. Just click here. Okay. So I'll start with Bank of America. So I pulled this chart right here, and as you can see that a buy signal came here. The good news is that oscillator, the price trajectory oscillator, which essentially tells you where the price is headed in near future, it's going up, which is a good news, which is a good news. So it's, if you look closely here, it changed direction, it started going up. The heat map values is also going up right now, if you see closely, and if you pay attention here, the heat map G4, G5, G7. So right now it's at G7. So it is kind of going up, which gives me a good warm and fuzzy about this stock, right? The sector is kind of going up. Our heat map values are going up. The oscillator is going up. The stock is in uptrend. So let's see how Bank of America is doing today. So far, it's like up 1.37%. Just for the sake of, I'm curious about how these other stocks, especially in financial and tech are doing today. So let's just start with financial BSC. The next one is BPOP, which is Popular Inc. I don't know what that is, but BPOP. Okay, so as I said, right now financial sector is looking definitely hard. So it's up. This stock is up like 1.95% today, which is awesome. Let's go back to our watch list. Okay, let's just filter it out by technology and financial sector and just apply. So that I don't have to keep on finding. Okay, so BSC we looked, BPOP we looked. So IT, as I said, one of the sector which was in that little uptrend right now is technology sector. So Clean Spark, CLSK. So this was the third one in our buy, CLSK. Oh, it's 5.78% up. That's awesome. Let's look into the next one, financials, FHB. So that was another stock that was in our buy list today. FHB. Okay, this is again up 3.34% today. When I'm telling you these, like especially when you look into not just one data point, you have to think about it. Look into overall how the overall market. So what I was looking into, the oil fell down today, which is kind of a good news in my opinion. Financials and technology sector is in that little uptrend right now, which gives me little bit more confidence about that particular sector. And of course, I'm not gonna just blindly take these buy and sell signals, right? I want to make sure that all the data points are aligned. So just like how I showed you how I looked into Bank of America, right? I look into these other data points, these heat map values. Think about it. When heat map value, these green values, which represent greed in the market. So as greed is rising, think about it. That means investors are buying and buying, becoming more and more greedy about that stock and the stock, and thus pushing the prices up. So when greeds go up, technically, if you think about it, logically, you think about it, it increases the price. Why? Because people are getting greedy, they are jumping, they are buying that stock. Every day, this value goes up, the stock is pushing up. And when fear is increasing, which kind of pushes the price down. So that's what I'm seeing when all of these data points match. And let's look into the next one. We saw FHB was up like 3.45% already. IT is another stock. Gartner up 1.04%. Not bad. Not bad. The next stock, LAZ. I think it's Lazard. LAZ up 2.43% just today. Let's look into MSI, the next one. MSI. So this is up like 0.5%. So as you can see right now, when these other data points matches. So one thing I started with market breadth. It was going up, right? Financial, technology. And again, this is the exercise that I do pre-market, because that's when I want to make the decision whether I need to go into the market or not. And like, for example, tech sector also, it started going up. I pulled the watch list. I started looking at, I just looked into some of these opportunities. everything is going up. It's not like it's not just a luck. It's like, think about it, when overall markets start going up, pretty much all the stocks within that sector, unless there's like bigger issue with that stock, it's filing for bankruptcy or some bigger issue with that stock, usually it will help push the prices up. And the data points, like as I mentioned, this greed and fear score that we have, as it is going up, that is also pushing the prices up, because the greed is rising, everybody jumping into that stock, thus increasing the price. So these are some of the important data points that I look into it, along with making sure overall market is not that bad. I mean, like one of the thing that kind of caught my attention was around that the crude prices, as I mentioned, because if you read this headline, US crude prices fall 5% as Israel is not expected to strike Iran's oil industry. Okay, so less war is always a good news for the stock. You know, when the fear of war start going up, you know, you start seeing the volatility in the stocks, the prices will start going down. So this was one, like these are some of the broader macro thing I do look into it when I'm making a decision. So as I say, once everything agrees, right, then you start winning more with less risk when you have all of this data in front of you. So that's all for today. I don't have anything else. Just to recap, one thing, we have a new improved UI coming for OVTLYR, which will simplify how you analyze stocks. Along with, we're going to add a lot of important information, like breaking news about that stock, so that you don't have to look for that information somewhere else. If there's some issue or some good news about that stock, it will be available right there on the platform, along with some of the other data points like analyst ratings and all that. So it will be available in next 2 to 3 weeks. And right now, as I mentioned, we have a special going on for the OVTLYR for just $329 a year, which essentially is around 90 cents a day. And I can tell you this is worth it, because we are going to increase the price in coming months, as we are adding more features, as we are making the platform even better. You will see the price increase down the line. So if you want to lock up this price, I would highly suggest so. uh, I don't have anything else for today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you.